Okay. Mm,
All right. Hear those. I'm just gonna get this started so I
all right.
can. After this pre-trial conference, I can go and enjoy my coffee as I'm very sick, or my tea actually.
Uh,
Hello, everybody can hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Hello, is all parties present?
I
Yeah,
believe so.
seems like it. All right, Bajek, you ready?
yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I will call this pre-trial conference. I'm not gonna bang my gavel. It's more of kind of an informal hearing on the motion to dismiss the pre-trial conference. There was a motion to dismiss with prejudice filed by the DA's office by Mr. Pennyworth. Baker Pennyworth. And Bajek, you did write a rebuttal. I have reviewed both sides. I just want to go through one more time from the state as well as the defense to make sure I have all my notes into accord, because what probably will end up happening is based on this motion, I will just decide the outcome of this case, because I think correct me if I'm wrong, but the biggest legal contention is the ability for an officer to use the smell of marijuana to conduct a further search in this regard. Is that correct, Mr. Bajek? Is that your legal argumentation that the smelling was not enough?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. State, do you take this, go to the podium and just give me your legal arguments and everything like that, why you want to dismiss this case, and the facts, of course, that substantiate that.
Yeah, no problem, Your Honor. So the state would like to dismiss this case due to the fact that Mr. Cook was driving a speeding vehicle, was pulled over by Detective Reeds, placing the entire car into detention. He was then pulled out of the car, to which he did. He then smelled of marijuana, admitted to Detective Reeds that he had marijuana, and the case law that State v. Cummings clearly states that you only need reasonable suspicion to do any of this. It doesn't mention anything to do with drugs, but it only says you can search for drugs, which is what Detective Reeds did and found, and what the only charges are related to. And also, he was driving a motor vehicle, smelled of marijuana, leading to, at the bare minimum, reasonable suspicion for potentially driving under the influence. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Bajek.
Let's see. Let me find my place. Let's see, 1 second. For the original case law, Joy states that marijuana is always or illegal at this time, and that there's no way for it to be, or let's call it, that shows the smell of marijuana that they've always done an illegal act, basically. Now at this time, marijuana is legal, which means that they can't just assume people smelling of weed to be illegal at this time. As for the the driving under the influence charge, there was nothing mentioned at all within the report about that, nor was there any ever sobriety test given. But for the possession charge, it was simply because he had smelled of marijuana after getting out of a vehicle. As possession of marijuana is no longer a crime, I see no reason for this case law to stand today. Alright, thank you.
All right, thank you, counsel. Let me just review some few things on my.
Alright, that was
notes, and I'm
improv.
gonna
I wasn't
ask a
expecting this.
couple of questions if I do have any. Just give me 1 second, then after that I will go into deliberation. Defense counsel, when it comes to the reasonable suspicion, are you contesting on the basis that it wasn't mentioned in the report? Is that the point of contention in regards to that argument made by the state?
For DUI, there was nothing done
Yes.
whatsoever. Not only was it not mentioned, but there was no separated test given or any charges pressed in that regard.
I am talking about the suspicion of DUI, not the, in order to prove the evidence on that, just the suspicion from the smell as well as the speeding vehicle.
Do I believe it's there? It's probably there, yes, but I don't think the officer even considered it at the time, is the thing.
Okay. State, is there any reason it wasn't mentioned in the report, or was this something that was just left out as... Or was there any specific occurrence or something like that I'm missing here?
I mean, do you have to put down in a report your reasonable suspicion for every single crime that they might have done? We're not pushing the charge for anything even related, to driving under the influence, so in the report isn't entirely necessary. Plus, the search was solid without that anyway.
All right, yeah. Do I have anything else? Nope. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go deliberate on this, and then I will be back with my verdict, okay?
Alright, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Give me like 10 minutes or so. Alright.
Alright. Alright. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this as much as I should have been. I was, Alright. Sorry. I just want this case law to be overturned as well. That's really the only thing I'm asking for. If this case law can be overturned, I can get so much work done. Like, this minor case can actually be, Wait, Scott wasn't fucking here for this. Oh, and he said I didn't, what's it called? I didn't say he had to make it, but he said he'd try to make it. That's right. He didn't say you were here for it. Not that he needed to be. But that, Riley isn't here to testify whether or not she actually did care about DUI. Oh, she is here about that. Why didn't she testify? Okay, she should have testified. I'm not the greatest at improv, honestly. Just doing stuff off the cuff is not my strong suit usually. Sometimes I can be really good at it, but it takes me a bit to sort of get in the flow. I was listening to myself speak in court the other day, and I'm like, wow, this person sounds incredibly unconfident. I'm like, what the fuck? But now after what's called? But now after
I just have a clarifying question for the state. When it came to that vehicle speeding, was it leaving the scene of the suspicious call, or was it just like from another direction of travel?
It was just a speeding vehicle.
All right, got you. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah, there was no suspicious. There was none, actually. That's why he's asking. Was there suspicious activity called? There was none. Or thank you, Riley, for being honest about that. I appreciate that. There was no suspicious activities calls. Yeah. I just want the case law overturned. Please God, let the case law be overturned. Oh, if I can get that. Oh. I'm gonna eat. And Scott's gonna cook. As it is now, this is being used like super heavily to just get people, and I'm not sure we need to get people gotten for stuff like this. Fuck, I have work to do. Do I care? I'm wondering right now. How much do I care about this? What evidence is that? Has he rolled on this? Nobody's rolled on this, actually. If that's the case, then, if that's the case, let's edit this. Why did Jim want me to add this again? I don't actually remember why I wanted me to add this. What is this slaughterhouse incident? Okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to check actually what the thing was, right? I checked this Vino. Okay. Oh my god. That's so funny. Alright, why the fuck did I give a subpoena for this? Alright, that's so funny. Oh no, I guess it shows that I'm calling. Okay. Okay, all it shows is that he made 911 calls and 311 calls. That's literally it. That's all he has.
Okay. Let's call this session back into order. Let's take a look at a few of the. Let's take a look at State v. Cummings first. So, State v. Cummings specifically states in any situation in which law enforcement would have reasonable suspicion to stop and detain a suspect for further investigation or questioning. The order, and then it goes on for about the order, but let's cover that first part. The reasonable suspicion to stop and detain a suspect for further investigation or questioning. This reasonable suspicion occurred, and this quote-unquote lawful detainment specifically occurred when, is it Sergeant Reed still, or have you been promoted?
Sergeant.
Sergeant Reed's specifically, watched this individual, the defendant in this matter, speeding. So that lawful detainment had occurred. During this lawful detainment, while the individual was in the vehicle, that she smelt an individual with the odor of marijuana, as well as the admittance by that defendant. But it doesn't even need the admittance. Rather, the odor of marijuana was enough in this case, specifically under this precedent and case law, to suggest to specifically search this individual. It's the conjunction of smell of marijuana, speeding vehicle, which can be articulated into potential
It wasn't
DUI
articulated.
in this case. So we have that.
It wasn't articulated.
Going. And now the defense has a legal argument of, oh, but the marijuana is legal, right? Yes, marijuana is legal to about 3 joints. But here's the thing. Anything higher than that is still illegal. So when we have to look at the use of marijuana, it's still a Schedule 1 controlled dangerous substance. It is still illegal to possess an amount higher than 3.0 grams, buds, or joints. Therefore, due to this possession still having the ability to be illegal, is still grounds to search this individual. If there is a suspicious call, so on and so forth, there's enough conjunction here of different factors that the officer can use to articulate their reason for search. The court finds it that it's still under State v. Cummings, even though the legal amount of marijuana is still there. The admittance enough is enough for a search to ensure that this individual is within their legal amount, especially when there is a controlled, a suspicious activity, speeding vehicle, signs of potential DUI. With all those facts in combination with Joy's ruling, it still falls under State v. Cummings, and that is what I find in this case is dismissed as reasonable suspicion. The lawful detainment was there to trickle down to what that arrest had become. Everything was in accordance to the proceeding, and that's what this court will find today. So this case is dismissed. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Or thank you, Honor.
Thank you.
I have a question
Have a good
about.
one, guys.
Yeah, take care. I'll write up this, and I'll ask the judiciary to update it a little bit so that there's no confusion in the future if this sort of situation happens again. So, but I
Thank
don't know
you.
how we'll do it. If it's going to be just a case law under it, or if it's just going to be updating the wording. We'll see. So,
I
Great,
was going
thank
to
you.
ask if
Yep.
the case law that Joy had made, whether or not that one could be modified in any way to better.
it'll probably be like an indent under it, and then just add that one specifically, and say due to the updated possession stuff, it'll probably just go under there as like an indent or something like that under it, or something like that. We'll have to see. I have to just send the judiciary the ruling that I made it. So.
Okay.
But yeah, essentially the biggest thing that the judiciary was kind of here. I'll tell you exactly what we discussed. Lawful detainment. As long as it's a lawful detainment, it's good for a sniff. If there is smell of marijuana, it falls under state v. Cummings. So as long as that detainment was lawful, is what allowed your defendant to be guilty of their possessions and everything.
Then
and it
one
didn't
last
apply
question.
to-
He's
Yep.
just walking along the side of the road. What happens then if he smells of marijuana and they detain him?
Oh no. So no. So lawful detainment needs to exist prior to sniff. If they smell it and then that's the reason, that's not going to stand.
No, I mean, like, let's say he's not in a car when he's driving, or
Yeah.
he's not driving in a vehicle,
Okay.
so he's not
Did he-
suspected
did
of DUI.
Yeah.
Then
he's
in
good.
that case,
if he gets charged, if he like cop walks past him, oh, I smell marijuana, you're detained, I'm gonna search you. Oh, found drugs, we're gonna drop it. You need to have lawful detainment, and that needs to occur prior to you smelling that marijuana, or you cannot lawfully detain somebody just based on the smell of marijuana. Essentially, you need lawful detainment prior to using the smell of marijuana to continue your investigation.
no. What
It's
I,
weird because, sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was going to ask.
No, you're good.
So if someone, like, let's say someone is lawfully detained on the side of the road, they're not driving or anything like that.
Mhm.
Is it still
What's the
probable
reason
cause?
for detainment?
I guess we can say jaywalking. We'll say jaywalking.
Okay.
All right, detained.
If they're detained and then they're jaywalking, then it's a lawful detainment. They're good if they get smelt and the officer smells marijuana on them. Then it's you have that reason to search them, and then you're good. If they don't have to have a legal amount of marijuana or no marijuana, they're good.
Is it still PC? Is what I meant by that. For them to
Yes,
search at the
under
time.
Stevie Cummings? Yes.
Because it's more likely than not that they're committing crime.
It's no. So it's more likely than not that they. The probable cause for under Stevie Cummings, yeah, that they have a amount of marijuana that might be greater or more. It's three joints specifically, and that's the specific legal requirement. But it's still a controlled dangerous substance. So most likely than not, we have to assume that they can have more than that amount. The amount that they can have more, the variable of how much they can have legally compared to how much they can have illegally kind of outweighs it. So it's kind of that regard that you have to consider it. It's still a controlled dangerous substance. It's still a controlled substance. The only reason why we've kind of allowed it is on the basis that
Only for a joke, because they can be searched for.
marijuana is more of a soft core drug, I guess you could say. It's the best way to say it, and allowing a 3-joint limit kind of not only kind of keeps our judicial system a little bit more relaxed because it's less cases, as well as doesn't cause much of a strain of police resources if we have to keep arresting every individual who's just trying to have a marijuana for fun, right?
Okay.
And it's one of those things is if they have just 3 marijuana or less, they're fine. They're good. Cool, you're good. You smell like marijuana, but if you have a client that gets detained on the basis of a spell, and that's why they were searched and arrested, and that's it, they didn't commit any crime, they were just going about their day, take that to court. But if it's if they had a reason for lawful detainment, you got to do that. So
Well, is there a reason why, if they are smelled without lawful detainment, that it can't just be immediately probable cause? I don't understand the reasoning for that.
specifically because when it comes to that regard, we don't want officers to go and just go, essentially just start sniffing, sniffing every individual.
Yeah, that would
So
change
that's
if there
the
wasn't
thing.
probable cause, though, for a crime. If they couldn't just search people based on the smell.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That's why you can't. We're saying that you need to have a lawful reason for detainment. So another crime has
No.
to exist for it to even be investigated specifically, unless they have some other thing. Maybe they might have seen you hand off drugs or something like that. Then of course, that's a whole other story. But if there's nothing to suggest that you have marijuana at the time, other than the smell, you can't just use the smell. It's sort of like, have you ever seen those charges as like secondary violation, like tint violation, stuff like that? Like
Yeah.
you get stopped, and then if you have a tint thing, then you can be cited for it. But stopping an individual just for tint isn't enough. It's kind of like that. Very, very loosely like that.
Okay. Oh,
But essentially, it's very hard for me to explain it without it being objection weird. I hope I can. Get
I know
that
what you mean
across.
by that, but I
Yeah.
feel like it wouldn't be an issue if they didn't need what's called reasonable. They didn't need to detain the person. If so, like, let's say they don't need to detain the person. They just go by and they're sniffing people and they smell marijuana, right?
That's
It's
gonna
probable
be an
cause
issue.
then to search them. Is what's called. You're saying that they need reasonable suspicion in order to be able to search them in the first place. But if they don't have PC to search them just based on smell, then it's not a problem. They can sniff people and it's not going to cause issues.
Yeah, essentially, like, if they just smell, let's say I'm walking down the street, right? They sniff me and they smell marijuana, then they really can't do much because I haven't committed any crime. I haven't had any reason to stop. Like, it's kind of like a safeguard, essentially, is what we've set up with that. We need lawful detainment, and this is something that Montag and I spoke about as well just a little bit ago. So,
Okay.
yeah, so it's kind of like I have concurred with the judiciary on this. So, and Joy as well stated that the State v. Cummings is still good, but it has to be a bit more limited now. And in this specific case as well, he did give me an example, and funny enough, it was this case of it being a traffic stop, and then you smelling that, it's evidence of a potential DUI. So there's a lot of conjunction with this case. Funny enough, with this
Yeah,
example,
he gave me
without
that
any
example too.
context.
I was like,
Yes,
fuck,
it
I didn't think about that one. But
yeah.
for this
So-
case, I don't think that was considered by Riley. But
I don't know. See, here's the thing. It wasn't written in the report, but it's one of those things where, like, if it wasn't considered at the time, then yeah. But at the same time, like, it's a very clear, like, oh, if you stop an individual smelling of alcohol, then, like, what is the DUI? Same thing with marijuana. You're under the influence of marijuana.
you
So.
definitely have PC to push the charge then. So if she just chose not to push DUI, or not to not push DUI, that seems very strange.
Yeah, it does seem strange. But at the same time, I've seen a case where they didn't put the assault with a deadly on some other individual because they just let that individual, like, what was it? It was like some other case. There was a lesser charge they didn't push. It was like, it was like assault with a deadly, and they had the weapon in his possession. He also had 3 Oxycontin, and that motherfucker didn't get the charge for the 3 possession, like the Oxycontin as well. I've seen officers just leave out smaller charges, and I think it's one of those things where he already got the possession. I think it was just they don't want to be too aggressive with them. I think it was done in good faith towards your client. I'll be honest, but because well, actually, but they didn't do the DUI thing. Is that correct?
Yeah,
They didn't like check for DUI.
Not even a little bit. It just isn't mentioned. She just searched him because she smelled of marijuana.
Yeah.
That's what I was like. That's what I meant by that. It's like, is it more likely than not that someone has like an illegal amount of marijuana on them if they have marijuana, or if they smell marijuana? That's the thing I was wanting to argue.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if we were to get like some sort of like statistics and we were to call people down and like this and say how much marijuana do you have on you right now, and then we get a poll of that, and then it turns out we can see whether or not it's more likely or not for someone to.
Yeah. Let's spin the wheel of fortune, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I'll ask the judiciary how we want to go about this specifically in adding. Like, I think what ends up happening is that's going to be this precedent in this case, and then what we might do is set that plus coming and either merge it or create the State v. What's this? Gabriel. Is it Gabriel? No, it's Scott Cook. State v. Scott Cook under that, and specifically add a further thing like with the legalization of 3, buds and less or something like that.
Well, I agree that like if there was a suspicious activity call, I would say they probably would have PC then, but there was nothing like that.
So, yeah. God, I don't.
But just by itself, like in a vacuum, I'm not sure.
Yeah, here's the thing: the smell of marijuana, though, while driving a speeding vehicle, doesn't look too good. It's one of those
Yeah,
things where it's like,
I admit that. So we'll say that for a DUI, this case for DUI, but let's say on the side of the road, then someone just walking by, detained for jaywalking or something. In that case, is what you're saying that it still count in that case as well as my understanding of that.
yeah. Um,
Yeah. Because yeah, even in the original case, they were responding to a suspicious activity call and detained the suspect for being on the scene. So that
anyway, yeah. I'm sorry, I have a cold, man. Holy
no,
shit.
you're fine. Or I guess you're not fine. You're sick.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'm sick. I am sick indeed. I was just gonna go lay down my head as well. But,
all right, sorry, I won't bother you anymore. You're good. Thank you.
appreciate it. But yeah, I'll have the judiciary updated and everything. So we'll do some sort of update. I don't know what they're gonna want to do, but we'll put it up there. So.
All right, that's good to see you, Miller.
All right, you take care. All right, see you. JD.
Yeah, that Mueller seemed a little bit. It's like he definitely seemed a little bit questionable about that as well. Because what they're saying by this is that smelling of marijuana is probable cause for you having committed a crime. I don't think that doesn't seem right. It's not. I wouldn't say that smelling of marijuana makes you more likely than not to have committed a crime. Like just in a vacuum. I was trying for it. And I was definitely cooking for it, but apparently it was not cooked to perfection. If he just wasn't like, if there was a couple things. So if he didn't mention he had marijuana on him, that was very dumb of him. I don't know why he said that. And if he didn't, what's it called? And if he wasn't in a car at the time, that I feel like things could maybe have been a little bit different. Probably the car was more important, but don't tell officers anything. I don't see why people do this. Yeah, it's basically saying that marijuana is still, for all intents and purposes, illegal, and that you can be searched if you what's it called, if you smell of it. It's probably been well, I mean, no, you can't even basically argue it's been decriminalized if you can just be searched for it. Yeah, they're saying that you more than likely have committed a crime if you smell marijuana, which is kind of strange. I mean, if they were to create some sort of rules and regulations, like you can only or if you smoke marijuana, then you have to consent to a search of your person by officers. Like then I feel like I could somewhat accept that, but that isn't in the terms and conditions whenever you smoke marijuana, as far as I'm aware. What they're saying is that yes, if you smoke marijuana, you have the consent of a search of your person. That's what the case law is saying. So is it really legal if you can what's it called, if officers can just search you based on smoking it? I don't really know. That doesn't really feel super legal to me. You know, I wouldn't I don't know. Say I wouldn't legally drink orange juice. You know, if officers are going to just search me because I smell oranges. You know, that sort of thing. Actually, that's what they're saying. They're saying we're going to take away some of your rights because you've done this legal thing. I'm not sure how that doesn't seem super. I don't know about that. I mean, I understand what he's trying to argue. I think it's very. He said that they don't want the officers to abuse the smelling thing. I understand like a weird mechanics thing. They don't want officers just like abusing that, but there's ways to make it so it can't be abused. You just make it so it's not probable cause. What's called the someone. So if it's not if someone smells of marijuana and it's not immediately assumed to be a crime, then there's no reason to search them. They can just go around selling people as much as they want. It's not gonna be a problem. So they're doing like a weird like backwards kind of system to prevent like officers from abusing it. But there's just like a way to like stop it from like that being an issue in the first place. So I'm not really sure why it's. Yeah, I'm not really sure why they're doing it in this manner. I remember seeing it on Penta Stream as well, where Wrangler was like all freaked out and he's like wearing a gas mask and whatnot because he says we're not allowed to smell people. They can get a lawsuit because that, and it is. It's really fucking weird. I don't understand why that's a thing. That doesn't feel real at all. If we want it to be real, then we just need to make it not a crime to smell marijuana. But what they're saying is, yes, it's actually a crime to smell marijuana, because why else would you have your rights limited? You can only have your rights limited for reasons that, for a couple reasons. For the safety of, yourself or others, or for the, what's called, if you have been believed to have committed a crime. Those are the only reasons you can have your rights limited. And technically, crime arguably follows suit for the first one, you know, for the safety of yourself and others as well. So like if you've been no, decriminalizing it, as far as I understand it, was just a way to like I don't know, allow people to smoke or have their like what's called their weed RP, I guess, or something like that, with without it like fucking over people, I guess. But it is fucking over people, so I don't really understand. Like, I guess if people want to be like legal about it, I have no idea. Because they only legalized like such a small amount. And technically there's no legal way to get marijuana right now, so it's a little bit questionable. It actually is so because there's no legal way to get it, it actually is PC for someone having committed a crime. Honestly, but that's mainly because there's no dispensaries or anything like that. But if there was a legal way to obtain it, then I would say it's probably not PC then. But right now, I actually can fully agree that it is PC for having committed a crime. This because that there's no way to legally obtain it. That's enough. But that wasn't argued, because that is let's call it a strange argument as well. And there's no dispensaries or anything like that. There's not really businesses in general, which is kind of sad. I'd like there for things to be like updated and whatnot. It's slow going though. All right. What am I? Like I understand what they're doing, but they're just, I don't know. They're really going about it in a strange like backwards way. Like it's not even that it's they just There's definitely things that can be abused, but I don't think this like smell is one of them. If laws are set up in the right way. Like how do you prove as well, you know, that someone smells of marijuana at the time? Like, is there any way to like prove that? Unless the officer has to testify to that, right? Can officers lie? Yes, absolutely they can lie. But still that or what's it called that the smell of marijuana, technically I guess people could just lie to it, actually, on the
Liz,
yeah, what's up?
so like why can't you just sit somewhere inconspicuous and do what you got to do instead of like standing all, out there?
What is
like,
that? Was I doing that?
Yes, you're doing that.
Sorry, I was just, I don't know.
Go somewhere. Go sit in a hospital or something where no one would. Or inside the damn building over there. You're just all in the middle of the damn whatever. Looking through. Are you not aware of your surroundings at all?
Well, I just like pacing a lot, and it's kind of nice to get out in a bit. But that's mainly the reason why. I mean, it's kind of like how I'll just drive around sometimes, just to, just to drive for a bit, that sort of thing.
Okay. I Okay. I was just thinking that it was really strange
Oh
for
well.
you to be just out like this. Okay, okay.
Well, sorry. I
As
was
long as
just.
you aware of your surroundings
Yeah.
and know what's
All right. I'll
going
try
on.
to. Thank you.
Okay, Liv.
Why is she getting so? I was literally just walking around renting to you guys. All right. You're so weird for having walking around in the sidewalk. Like what? What? I'm looking at this MDW. Granted, I was doing that a little bit, but I'm like, what's good? I was just going over things. I don't think it's super strange. If I was like running around and doing it, that seemed kind of strange. But just walking around, I don't think that's too strange. She actually just called. She called me weird. What the fuck? It's kind of weird that you just are walking around here. What the fuck? I don't know about that. Let me see. I was going over the. I wanted to see the. Where is it? Where someone's saying that, yeah, if that was the case, then cops already can lie about it, but I'm pretty sure what. Okay. Oh, okay. So okay, they didn't do that. Some cops they do this like weird thing where they they screen cap where it says person smells of marijuana. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? And they add it as evidence. I'm like, that's kind of. I don't think that's supposed to be there. Uh, but that's the main thing with I don't know. I think there's just ways to deal with it that they are not doing, and I'm not sure why. If it's like they haven't considered it, or if because they're. I mean, because it seemed like Mueller hadn't really considered the argument I was making there, like that it's essentially saying that just smelling of marijuana is means more likely than not that you've committed a crime. Like, I'm not sure that that is the case when it's supposed to be decriminalized. Or how? What do you mean, how about? Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. But you were talking about the when they added as evidence. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely the ha part of it. I've definitely seen it before though, quite a few times. Riley isn't like a bad RPer. I don't want to say no a bad RPer, but we'll just say like that's a little bit strange, like a little bit mechanics. Sorry, I just was a bad RP. That's toxic. What I meant by that is that's not it's not really fully realistic, and this is supposed to be like we don't have a whole lot of like mechanics based stuff on the server, and so using like I'll see sometimes cops as well. They'll put in like it'll screen cap vehicle show signs of tampering. I'm like, really? I don't know about this. Like, fleet, this feels kind of like we don't necessarily need to know that. Like the way it's done in, if we're going to try to treat this as real as possible, the way it's done in real life is like literally just an officer needs to testify. Yes, that's what happened there, and that's good enough for them. That's good enough. But I somewhat understand them wanting to go the extra mile. I don't think they are maybe considering that it's like a bit strange for people to be seeing to be arguing mechanics. It's like the question of before motorcycles there was no way to obtain them legally, and there was no way to obtain motorcycles legally. Does that mean it's probable cause to pull someone over in a motorcycle just because they're riding a motorcycle? Technically it would be because right there's no way to legally obtain them, but that wasn't done. Why? Because mechanics. Like that was the reason why. They realized, yeah, that's definitely kind of it would definitely be a bit strange to pull someone over because you're arguing mechanics. Yes, mechanically that can't be done, but what's it called? But to assume as such and roleplay based on mechanics is a little bit like that's not really role playing in that, right? It's just you're just playing it like this is a system rather than a what's it called a world, I guess you should say. Yeah, you're treating it like this is a game. It's just saying rather than roleplay. And while roleplay can have absolutely game-like aspects, or even games can be based off roleplay, I don't necessarily think that roleplay should always be treated as a game, or like based on the atmosphere of the server and the kind of like cultivation or the direction they want to cultivate things in. Like for sure, certain servers definitely have a lot of mechanics, and they do treat it more as a game than a little bit less as roleplay. That's perfectly fine if they want to do it that way. That's absolutely fine. But at least on this server, as far as I understand it, that's not how people want to go about it. Yeah, people can absolutely do whatever they want, but I do think there's, what do you call that? Community, like a certain form of a community desire, where like minds get together, and that's the best way I can say it. You know, if when people all have like similar ideas, they get together, they make a group, they do whatever else it is, right? And that's what this server here is. At least that's my understanding of it. And so what that means for or what that means for me then is that if the however the people and if the majority of people in this server want things to be a certain way, then it's probably should what's called the what do you call that? Then the developers should probably be pushing things in that direction. The only exceptions would be if people were just being really dumb and they wanted something that was going to hurt them in the end. So sometimes people are like they want something that they don't realize is bad for them, or they say it's not that bad, and you know, that sort of thing as well. Or they're like, what if we just? A lot of times people will say like, what if I just had like a whole bunch of money? Wouldn't that be awesome? Sometimes. I don't know. Wouldn't that be awesome to just have a whole bunch of money? Well, it turns out that actually once you have a whole bunch of money, you don't really have anything to spend on, or even if you do have something to spend on, it's not as valuable because now you just have so much money. Like it's just all the time and effort you would have spent working to get something is gone now, and it just can be instantly gotten, and that's not fun. It's like that's cheating actually ruins enjoyment for games. That's I would tactically. So what do you call that for like single player games? I will tactically cheat if I want to quit. What's called if I realize like I'm obsessed with the game. I'm like, all right, I don't want to play this anymore. But I'm still really obsessed with it though, so I can't really stop myself. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat the game, and so I cheat, and then I immediately lose interest in the game. It's like almost instant actually. And once that happens, or yeah, it's it's a really good way to just what's called abuse my my interest, I guess I can say. I'm using mechanics to the mechanics of myself disliking cheating to or abuse my interest in it or something of a game. It's kind of funny actually. So that's my experience though with stuff like cheating. I know sometimes that's not always the case for everybody. Sometimes people are just like, yeah, you know what? I can just cheat all the time, and this is awesome. This is great. I'll never get bored of this. I don't think that's the majority of people. I think that's, yeah, I don't think it's the majority of people. I'm someone who I actually pretty highly value delayed gratification. And so I'm okay with waiting for things. That's something I'm kind of okay with. Waiting for things for like an excessive amounts of time, I could, like, let's say if I have to wait for something like for over, let's say I have to wait for a court case for like over 2 months. I'm like, that's probably, I'm not really okay with waiting for something like that. My delayed gratification isn't at that level yet. I have an expectation that something's going to happen within a month because otherwise I'm going to forget about it and I'm going to stop caring about it if it's going to be over 2 months. So when I have something like a, or what's called, so when I have like a court case that's happening in a month, it's still kind of like, I don't really care too much about it. But what I do is instead just forget about it, and then I can care about it in the future. I can save my interest for later on, for whenever it's actually happening. Although I do have to like refresh myself, but basically I remove everything I know about the case from my mind the day after, and then I don't actually remember it until it's actually needed. And then I'm like, wait, what happened there? I don't really remember too well. I just remember something happened. And I have to go back over it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's right, that's right. By the way, I've what's it called? I got off on a tangent there a bit, but my whole point for this rant was that there's ways to go about things in a way that like the community can be happy with. There doesn't have to be things that done to stop people from there's a way to stop things from like being done, because obviously if like cops are abusing this mechanic, right? They obviously want to abuse this mechanic. Why do they want to abuse this mechanic? Because it's a really easy way for them to get an arrest. Or because it's a really easy way for them to get RP, essentially. So, what is the solution to this? Well, it sounds to me like the solution to this would be that cops are bored. Cops are actually really bored. If they're so bored that they're going out of their way to try and abuse mechanics to get RP. Like, that seems okay, I can understand that. If they're so bored that like there's not enough crime for that happening, and there's obviously something wrong with the criminal aspect. I haven't actually done too much research into the criminal aspect, but as far as I understand it, there wasn't a whole lot of crime to do in the first place. The everything to do with the cop RP has been set up. Like, there's been everything to do with the police department has already been like set up from the beginning. That's not the case with criminals. Criminals have been having to like eat scraps. They've been having to like be thrown out in the cold weather and shivering out there, pleading for any form of water sustenance at all, and all they get is scraps. And I think the people started realizing that, and they felt kind of like bad for them, because they realized it's like, okay, this is actually, we're having all the criminals leave the server because they're not really having fun, because there's no like nothing to really do for them. It's like, all right, what if we just increase the amount of money they got by 10 times? Well, it turns out that actually made them all leave faster, because then all of a sudden there's no reason for they have less reason to do crime once they have so much money. You know, what is the reason for doing crime? More likely than not, it's because of money, right? More likely than not, it's because of money, or because or what's called some form of power, control, that sort of thing. But a lot of times it has to do with money. So any non-violent crimes, at least, it has to do with money. So if it's the case that money is the case for non-violent crimes, then we have to assume that there's just not enough non-violent crimes for people to be able to do. Okay, so if that is the case, then how's that solved? How's the issue solved? Well, obviously people are looking for something to do. They want to grind. They want to grind and get money, and they want to feel like they're progressing. They want to feel like they're progressing. That's really, really important for people. They want to feel progression. So while it feels really, really good to get a lot of progression really fast, once you get to that level where you're like, I don't actually get anything from stealing anymore. Like, I can just burglarize forever, and I already have as much money as I'll ever need. But like, all right, then what's really the point in continuing crime? It would just be to do it. And that's perfectly understandable. Actually, it's a very good reason actually why they stop doing crime. And I think a lot of criminals came to that conclusion, and they just decided to quietly leave. That is true as well. Is that the cops have been overflowing with applications to get into the PD. That's not been the case for criminals at all. For a while, this was more of like a Civ server, where the Civs were the ones overtaking everything, but that kind of stalled out for a good long while because businesses have not been a thing. And really, Civ RP is about having businesses in some way, or being able to do something in some way with businesses. So to stop that from existing, or not stop that, to hinder that, not even hinder this, they're not really allowing people to have their business RP, because people really do need, places to do their business RP. And so, I don't know. Everything starts, the civs got unhappy and they started leaving. And then once the civs got unhappy, the criminals started getting unhappy, because they're not really, because the criminals are the ones that are going to be RPing with civs quite a bit often. And then because the criminals are unhappy, they end up leaving, and then the cops are unhappy because there's no criminals. It ends up being a whole blowback effect. But it ends up coming back together to the civs. The civs are not happy. The civs somehow are the ones that end up, what's it called? They end up. They're like this stabilizing factor, right? They're the ones that keep everything together. They're the mesh, the glue that holds everything right. Because otherwise you just get like red versus blue if it's just cops and robbers, right? So instead you have cops, robbers, and civs. And The civs is the glue of the part that keep everything together. Or at least that's my belief of it. I mean, because without civs, the world feels a little bit dead. Like, it feels like you're either just doing crime or you're just doing cop work, right? There's no in between. But civs is where the in between is. Or not necessarily the in between, but like a something else other than those things. Yeah. And so because that exists, you know, it gives reason for people to believe, okay, the criminals may be not doing crime. Or it gives reason for the cops to believe, okay, maybe this person is doing crime, and when it turns out they're not doing crime, that sort of thing. It gives them something else to work with. And we are not having that something else to work with because everything's been really slow to get anything done. It's been, what, 3 months since food trucks came out? It's been about 3 months since food trucks came out. Food trucks have been great. I've actually really enjoyed the food trucks. Like, food trucks have been awesome. What I don't like is that nothing's happened for 3 months since then. It's taken, what, 3 months for them to release motorcycles even? I've heard at least that apparently they have a lot in the back that they have ready, that they're just waiting for it to be released. For like something else to, I don't know exactly what that means, but I have heard that they have like a bunch of, I think at least my guess for that is that they have the car tuning and stuff like that already done, but they're waiting for one of the devs to like get something done before they release it. I don't know what exactly, but it sounds like they're waiting for something like that. But as far as I'm aware, I'm almost 80-90% certain that the car tuning stuff like that has already been done. It just hasn't been released for reasons that I'm not aware of. But if that's the case, like, I know everyone's been really hoping for the car stuff because, you know, this game is referred to as Grand Theft Auto, right? I didn't really think that was too meaningful, but then I started to discover that people actually really care about cars. A lot of people who like played Grand Theft Auto actually do care about cars, and they're like, "Oh, that's a really cool car," you know. I'd really want to have like the races or something, that sort of thing. They actually do heavily value the all the vehicles, and it's very clear that even the developers heavily value the vehicles in this game because they've done so much work to allow people to have their own custom vehicles and that sort of stuff like that, and to customize them to have all the different vehicles in the first place. They've done so much work on that. I myself am not really a car guy. I mean, cars are just like as the utility function to me. If they look nice, that's also nice. But like I don't really care beyond that. Like, it's not something that's super important to me. But to others, that's not the case. And so, all right, if that's the case, then I can somewhat understand how, and I can what's called base my understanding of all that kind of thing. And so I have seen that a lot of people are car people. A lot of women, surprisingly, are car people. I wasn't expecting that. And so whenever that's, because I see that fairly often, it leads me to believe that if they released like tuner stuff or whatever, the ability to customize your vehicle, the ability to like paint your car even, that I feel like a lot of people would be like a lot happier in general. But they're waiting on something. I don't know what it is they're waiting on. We've been waiting for 3 months now, and it hasn't been there apparently. So I'm not sure what it is that it's being like, that's the thing holding everything back. I know was the lead dev, or a couple of them. I'm not too sure, but they got like some sort of chronic illness that's been holding stopping them from being able to do like work at all. Something was somehow, it sounds like it's really debilitating. And if that's the case, then I think that I don't know. I think that, you know, steps probably need to be taken to if they haven't been able to do work for like 5 months just now, or like, then or 4 months now, I should say, because they weren't taken immediately. But then maybe there should be steps taken, you know, to not necessarily replace, but have some form of temporary some temporary stand-in. I mean, I granted that is a little bit like replacing. I admit that. Like, even Liz as well has been what do you call that? Liz as well has been he had Ash, right, as helping him with secretary work, and I was like, you replaced me, and Liz is like, what? She was just offered help, and I was like, I'm not gonna turn down help when I need it. It was a little bit like a replacement. I will admit that it was a little bit like a replacement, but it wasn't done like maliciously. Like we don't need you anymore. Like not that kind of replacement. It's a replacement in the sense of this isn't working. We don't have the ability to. So like let's say we'll use the Liz Ivy thing. Ivy was not around for 2 weeks. I was feeling very overwhelmed with paperwork and just doing everything by my own. I was feeling kind of overwhelmed by that. And Ash offered to help. All right, what happens then? Oh, hey, Specialist. Good to see you. What happens then, though? Once, what's it called? Once I'm feeling overwhelmed at work and someone offers to help, what the other person is AWOL for all intents and purposes. They're AWOL. Well, accepting help isn't what's it called? I don't consider accepting help in that instance to be a bad thing. I don't consider it like a betrayal of trust. Ivy sees it otherwise, or Cosmic sees it otherwise. Like it absolutely is replacing. That's fair. Maybe it is some form of betrayal of trust. But I feel like, if you're not there to be able to help in the first place, I don't think you can necessarily say that you're, what's it called? It's a betrayal of trust, so to speak. Not unless there was like some form of a prior agreement that said, "Hey, we're going to be doing this together exclusively," or the person was like, So in this instance, like let's say that the person who was it DW, I think who got the chronic illness. Let's say that they like, hey, I can't really help you guys, so like, please just like go on about me, like that sort of thing. Not that he's dying, but like it just if he were to say something like that, that is what's called? Would it be bad in that place to have someone else take over a position for the time? I don't think so. I don't think it'd be a bad thing. Certainly, like if he gets over his chronic illness, it may be harder to reintegrate him into like the community. But for the time now, I think we do need I guess we do need a replacement for now. And I get that's hard. It's hard to just say we need a replacement, right? But it's hard. But I think someone needs to go and say it, right? If they're not if they're not able to, do the work that needs to be done, then we need someone who is. I get that they've done so much work already, and we're not going to like throw them away because of that. But if they're just unable to continuously fulfill the work that needs doing, then it's not going to be throwing away. But like we need someone else to do it. We need someone else to pick up the slack, so to speak. I understand that's a little bit what do you call that? It's kind of cold, right? It's a little bit cold. But it's. I don't know what else to say. You're letting people down if you're just waiting around for someone, because it's. I understand like you have to consider the one person's feelings, but you also have to consider the feelings of the entire city and what's called the entire people, all the people who are playing on the city, right? You have to consider their feelings as well, and those feelings are like you're letting people down. You have made promises that you haven't been able to keep because of this. Is that really something that you can stand by? All right, let's say it is something you can stand by. For how long can you stand by it? For how long? That's something that's hard to. Like I understand giving him time, but it's been months. It's been months. So what are we doing then if it's been months and nothing's been changed? We just have to. I'm not gonna assume things are gonna be suddenly better. I'm not gonna assume there's gonna be suddenly a miracle. I'm not gonna assume there's just gonna be like one last surgery or something like that. I don't know exactly what's wrong with him. I have no idea whatsoever. But like there's not. I don't really believe too much in miracles. I do a little bit, somewhat, but not in the sense that like that they're necessarily there when they're needed. Or no, they're not there when they're wanted. They're there when they're needed. Sometimes I don't really know how to explain that, but I don't plan on miracles. That's what I was saying. I don't plan on miracles. Because they're miracles, right? I'm not gonna plan to win the lottery. Like that's not something that's like reasonable. Alright, sorry, I've been ranting at you guys for like literally an hour now, so let me I enjoy my rants though, but I somewhat had to get that out, and I also didn't fully understand it until I said it myself. But those are my somewhat of the feelings of the time I have right now. The things probably need to. There probably needs to be a little bit of things changing. Maybe some replacements. Not forever, but temporarily at least. Not forever, but temporarily. Please, please, just temporarily, please, God. That's what I want. Wait, what was this? What is this? Oh, okay. That's right, I forgot about this. Okay, this is the picture of Dr. Kane and Liz. I really like this one. Did you actually? That's so fucked. Did you actually? Let me check. Well, I can't know, but it sounds like okay, huh? I mean, I was being a little bit aggro with the "I'll see you in court," but that was a joke. Let me see the report. I wish I could see that it is straight. Sorry, I mean Neil. I wish I could see that history. If they allowed us to see that history, we could, so many more people could be called out for doctoring reports. But Victoria's saying that this report's been doctored. Oh my god. I think we actually can prove that it's been doctored. Huh. Look, the time of day is different. Do you see that? Oh my god. We can definitely, we can, huh. We might have a case from malicious prosecution. Oh my, what, like a real one? Well, no, because there was definitely probable, well, I don't, yeah, actually, no, I think we might actually have a case for malicious prosecution. Like a real one too. I'm like, what the fuck? Because doctoring reports for I don't know about this. It even says right here, not taken on day. What the fuck? What? What? Let's see, Rov Boulevard. Let's see, in these pictures, I can't see if it's red right here. There should be a tree in front of this though. There's no tree in front of this. This is a separate place. Look at this. You see there's no palm tree right there? But there is a palm tree right here. Ah, this is doctored. Okay. Huh. Improvably, Doctor, too. Okay. We can use this. I wish I could share reports to people. It's so dumb that I can't. I really wanted that to be like if we're sharing it with like people that we shouldn't be like this, fuck us. Then I don't understand why it's not giving us. Cops can do that shit, so why can't we? Because defense attorneys are not people. Apparently, they're not even government workers. Let me change the title. What are we doing now? What even is this? Casework, I guess. Okay. And let me change some. Alright. That all changed. And okay, I'm not ranting for now, probably. I was in a real ranting mood. That's rare. It's rare. Not super rare, but it's somewhat rare. It's probably not rare, honestly. That's probably not rare, but it's rare that I actually act on it. Yeah, this is actually in a separate place, though. We can prove it too. Yeah, this is a separate place, huh? Alright. Let me, Fuck, how do I prove this, though? Like, I see what I'm seeing, but, like, only through, like, a very clear, I'm looking over the, she's actually, creating evidence to try and prosecute the stars. Get you for a reason. I'm not sure if you have bees for or something. All right, I think we might actually though. It's interesting. Oh hey Lilith, you're tired? You sleeping? Look at this. Look at this case. This is an interesting one. So, what's it called? Victoria's pulled over, right? Pulled over here daytime. 3 pictures are taken after the fact on a different day. The thing is, if you see right here, look, there's the little electrical box on the left there, next to the lamppost, and there's a tree right behind that. Now, if we look here, we see the electrical box and the lamppost, but we don't see the tree. This is in a separate location. This is in a separate location. So I think we might have a case for malicious prosecution. If we can at least argue that for charges to be dismissed for that reason, and then we can sue for civilly about it. Where's the tree, Bob? Where's the tree? Yeah, but yeah, if we mash up the photos, I'm pretty sure she thought it was that place because of the electrical box there and the lamppost. She's close to that. She was a little bit right, but she forgot about the tree. I'm not sure if she's misremembering or like intentionally doing it this way. Considering it wasn't taken on day though, physically go there? I guess I'm gonna physically go there, yeah. Let me see the drive. Oh, I don't have the cool camera though. Can I ask me? Let me ask if I can get a camera from my judge or something. Oh, thanks for the raid, Dizzy. I appreciate that. Good to see you. Yeah, auction not included. What were we thinking of that? Was it good? I enjoyed the game quite a bit. Oh, I'm busy. Why am I busy? Right now we're doing detective work. I think we might have a case for malicious prosecution. Look, electric box, lamp on the right, or like a street light on the right, and then tree. Electrical box, lamp post, no tree, different place. Oh yeah, there's so much for it. I'm like, there's like literal people have like ran into the ground of like how to make everything efficient. There was someone who they once they're the characters with like the bad flashes one where they create like a little bit of like methane gas or whatever. They once tried to like create like a working output energy system for that just based on the methane gas they create. I'm like, it's like what the heck? And they determined like the right amount of it was crazy. Yeah, auction not included. So it's a great game. Right now I think we're doing detective work. I think at least. Where's my car? Though I want a camera if I'm doing detective work. Who can I bother about this? Let's bother Rescott. Where did I park the car? I think it was over here. Alright, thanks for the raid, Dizzy. I appreciate it. Yeah, good to see you. It's been a bit. I've been it's cool. I've been actually very busy in RP. With a lot of I guess he's not gonna answer. Why are you? Alright. Where is this location then? We'll just do it ourselves on our phone instead of the camera, even though I'd like the camera. Alright, this says it's on. You copy this. You can see this small. You dismissed my renting segment where I went and I rented for a good hour about the state of the server and about what needs to change. Roy Lansdowne Boulevard, Carson Avenue. Okay. Wait, this one. Alright, Roy Lowenstein Boulevard. Right here. Carson Avenue. Right here. Okay. Alright, we're going to the south side. Let's see. Alright, I think I've got them ranting out of my system for now. For now. For now. What's it called? It takes me a bit to kind of get to the point because I don't fully understand it myself. But once I can get there, I feel like it has some merit to it. Sometimes. Alright, so now we're going to detective work. Detective list on the case. I was joking about it earlier that he looked like a shoddy detective that was like get drunk all the time in the why are there people running around in there? Oh, ONX, this isn't proper RP. You're right about that, bitter. Did I invest in audio? What's it called? Oh, the new mic? What's it called? I was going over it. What happened? I got distracted and I looked at the... I was looking at the... I got distracted. I got distracted. I did look over it though. I saw that there... For some reason there was a bunch of differently priced ones. And so I was like, wait, what's the difference then if they're all priced differently? And so I was going over that. And then I got distracted. But I was looking up the different stuff as well. What did I do with that? Oh, I think that... Is that I have no idea. But what's called? Let me actually go over that then, because I do want to get a better mig. What was I saying before this? That I was ranting about... I was ranting about how this, the thing that needs to be fixed mainly, so... who was it? Lilith was saying this as well, that, you know, if civs aren't eating, then, you know, crims aren't eating, and if crims aren't eating, then cops aren't eating, and so a lot of this happened, because, you know, civs didn't really have businesses, like, they didn't really have the RP to go with, and that kind of, what's called slowly over time, that ended up getting over to the criminals, and the criminals got really bored, and then once the criminals got really bored, the cops got really bored. Okay. I've heard that said so many fucking times, Bitter. I'm not sure I believe it anymore. I've heard it said a lot of times. Yes, in 2 weeks, something big's gonna happen. In 2 weeks. I don't know. Penta's a good hype guy, but even now he's on a different server. I wonder about this. I was curious though, if you were the pocket dev or not that he was speaking about, that one that was going to get rid of all the valets. Let's see. Also, I had the... I yelled at him in game night. He did a game night and I wasn't invited for that, and I was like, hey, you know, this what's wrong with the server, and I was going on about that. What was it? He was like, what was it? The first thing he said to me is like, hey, the server's dead, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I already knew that. It's like, yeah. So I think that tow RP is a good thing, but we haven't even been having like tow RP because everyone's just been... There hasn't really been people around. That's what it's felt like. I mean, the queue's been what's called never been full for the past good week now, at least. Okay. Oh wait, here is. Oh, here's a place where we're doing detective work. Where's this electrical box? This legendary electrical box that we found. Is it? It's right here. No. But I do really want, like, I would like, honestly, if construction could be a thing, I feel like. Oh, he never invites devs to game night. What's it called? Are you not? It's not that he invites people to game night. It's that he has a Discord for it. If you ask Dandy, she'll probably get you in there. I had to message Dandy, and they invite you to the Penta Game Night Discord, and then he'll say, we'll put out like a notice. And it's like, hey, we're looking for people, and then they're sleeping most times. Oh yeah, right, because it is somewhat late. Because Penta streams pretty late. Forgot about that. It was funny though. I had someone who was it that was it was, who was it that was asking for me to do? Oh, DNAB. It was DNAB. That's right. It was DNAB that was like, hey, can you speak with Dandy about the game night thing? I've heard him mention. I'm like, okay, all right, fine. I don't like asking people for things, but like, sure, you know, if he's really wanting me to do it, I can do that. And so I mentioned like, hey, you know, I've heard that Penta might well make game night, and it's like, oh yeah, he did. Everyone was, and that being a pretty fun time. Although I didn't get to Bajek anybody, as people have been saying. I was close though. I was close. If they had trusted me just a little bit more for the first time, I could have won that easily. That was definitely a win. It was a loss for them no matter what. So I'm not sure why exactly they were not trusting. We were playing Town of Salem. Town of Salem 2, yo. And we were down to the wire. What was it? I was left, and then 3 other people were left. And what? I don't really see. This is the case where the guy was here for all of like a week and then didn't show up. B rules dismissed then. None. None. If I've already been paid. It's fun of me. Oh, I did prep for it. Someone said. All right. Okay. What am I doing here? Detective work. That's right. You're all for that game? Why? Because you can't lie? I wasn't even necessarily lying for that one. I was telling the truth. I'm like, in a very convenient way. You don't necessarily need to be a good liar. You can be a good truth teller as long as you know how to truthfully fuck over other people. it's a okay. Dismissed. Living this old life. Oh yeah. It's hard if you don't know what's going on. Absolutely, it is. Like even me, I watched watched like Pen to Play Town Salem for however long, and I thought I knew all the mechanics and whatnot, but actually doing it myself, I'm like, what? Like what? This is entirely different. Uh, but it does have a lot of the same. I can what's called. I feel pretty confident a little bit in being able to do detective work as long as I'm like involved with the case. For some reason, unless I'm involved, I don't have too much what do you call that? I don't care too much about it. Where is this place where she was pulled over? Is it not here? We're looking for palm trees, big palm tree. It was funny. I was talking with Roland, and he was saying it was the opposite for him because he's like part of it and he's more invested. He ends up like stuttering and isn't able to do it as well. That might be the case for me if it's like improv on the spot, but if it's not, if I have some time to prep, oof. If I got prep time, ooh, it's easy. I can go on that shit. It does take a bit though. Where is this legendary? A good liar. You don't necessarily need to be a good liar. You need to be. Well, you probably need to be a good liar somewhat. I'm not necessarily. Let's see. I mean, lawyer, you kind of have to be a good liar, right? But I don't really straight up lie. I mislead. I heavily mislead people, and it works wonders. It works amazing. Uh, it works very well. Very good tactic. Then Carson Avenue and Roy. Where is this place then? Is it over here then? People are just robbing cars around here blatantly. Okay. Is it down there? Fuck, let me just call Victoria. Victoria? Wait, let me just not drive around the south side. It probably isn't smart decision. What if I just didn't do that?
Prescott.
Hey, could I have permission to get a camera from the PD?
Has nothing to do with me. I don't give permission for shit.
Oh, okay.
Whether the PD gives you permission or not is completely unrelated to me.
I was wanting to do detective work.
Okay. Again, nothing to do with me.
Alright, well thank you anyways. Alright.
Bye.
I wonder. I'll have to... Let's see, my plans for right now. What are my plans for right now? Let's see, I have some more casework that I need to do. I need to get some food. Need to put those cases up. I mean, putting those cases up really isn't super time sensitive. Let me check. Has it been 21 days? Thing I need to care about most is what was this about? Oh, I remember this one. Okay. None of this. I don't have to worry about anything. Okay. If I don't actually have to worry about anything, that I probably don't. That's bad. I'm putting work off, but I probably don't have to worry about anything right now. Too badly. But if there's nothing else to do, I guess it can work. Let's see what else. I'm not usually ever actually around these times RPing. Surprisingly, it's been quite a while. Not since I roleplayed with Basil. I was around during those times. Somehow my sleep schedule just got like really messed up, and then discontinued to be messed up forever. I really just got on for the what's called the pre-trial hearing. I didn't think it was going to last like all 15 minutes though. I thought it was going to be like an actual thing. But no, it really was just a 15-minute thing. Just for Mueller to be like, yeah, for this case that's definitely the case. Like, but what about if this happens? Wouldn't this be setting a precedent for this? It took me a while to explain it, but I think he managed to see the problem. All right. Should we have should this be enough for today? I mean, I don't really feel like doing work right now. I'm tired and it's been a while. Well, maybe that's fine. Maybe this is good enough. Sure, it's fine. Good enough is always great. Thank you, Bitter. I appreciate that. Alright, then we'll be good enough. We'll put off our work for another day. Well, let's let that, just fester over there. And we'll just slowly pile up, and then eventually we'll come back to bite us. But for now, it's okay. Now it's okay. For now, it's okay. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for anyone who followed. Thank you for anyone who subscribed. I appreciate it. I really do. And remember, oh wait, I need to rate somebody. Let me rate someone. I almost forgot. I remember to rate somebody. No, what? Who's streaming on ONX right now? I don't know most of the people who are streaming right now. Wait, we don't have Nova Fallout? That... Oh, what's raid Cyberwolf? That's fine. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. And remember, life is sacred.